So almost all my purchases leading up to the 2023 NFL season of football cards were rookies between 50 and $150. Great, all graded cards, um, preferably PSA 10s, but some were PSA 9s and other companies 10s basically. And although those that range does tend to transact the most frequently, I would say, of players' rookies cards, um, the fees with the shipping, eBay fees, sales tax, make it very difficult. You need to make a significant percentage increase between a buy and a sell just to get to break even, and then above that for any actual profit. And if we're talking $100 or less purchase, you're all in looking at like a 50% raise in price to see 10 or 15 bucks. So I that's yeah, so I mean they're just facts if bought and sold on eBay. I've mentioned before, I think the way to of the future sort of is to buy more expensive cards. So now that those percentage increases easily cover things like shipping, um, and eBay fees, and or find absolute steals on the buy side, and so I'll also say one thing that I did do towards the end of the summer in a purchase that could also be another way to do it without having to necessarily buy way more expensive cards is to buy lots of raw cards. So one player I did this with, and then the idea would be buy lots of raw cards super cheap for up and comers, and if they do perform, then get them graded. It's sort of the blueprint there. So the guy I did do this with this year was Kadarius Toney. So not necessarily a big name, certainly in the sports card industry, not a big name at all. I got a lot of 66 raw rookies. I was listed for as a buy it now actually because I was hunting him, and was listed at $75. I offered 60 and it was accepted. So I got 66 raw Kadarius Tonys for 60 bucks. Now, none of these are numbered, and we'll see the condition. They look pretty good. But so I'll leave them. I'll put them aside. See how the season goes. He is listed as the number one receiver on the Kansas City depth chart, as I suspected. And people forget. I mean, he's only 24 years old. He's entering his third season. Um, People forget about him in general because he's been hurt so much over the last 2 years, about half the time. Um, if he's able to stay healthy, and I'll tell you why I'm so high on him. And anyone that saw him play the Dallas Cowboys in October of 2021, 10 catches for 189 yards, and he got ejected in the second half of that game just for fighting. Just a wild, wild kind of game. I mean, single handedly, he was torching the Cowboys defense and talking so much trash after every catch and great catches, and really fun game to watch because it was good. The final score ended up being like 44-24 Cowboys, but it was a back and forth shootout. And finally, did like Toney came to blows with one of the D-backs on Dallas, and both got ejected. So from that point on, I said, "Geez, this guy is amazing." And he was on the Giants, so that sucks. And then he got hurt, and then he was hurt the next year, and maybe some attitude issues, maybe some everyone hates playing on the Giants issues. Ends up going to the Chiefs, wins the Super Bowl. He was already. None of their receivers had a huge role in the offense. It's the Kelsey Mahomes show and running back by committee show, and but he did make some plays for them. He had the crucial punt return in the Super Bowl that set him up with first and 10 and like the Eagles 12 or something. They weren't able to muster a touchdown or a first down there. They got bailed out actually on that horrible defensive holding call, ticky tack in the fourth quarter, 2 minute drill of the Super Bowl. So I won't go off on that, but embarrassment for the league, and hats off to Nick Sirianni and the Eagles for not making a huge deal about that. That was brutal, and there were plenty of analysts and fans. We all got cheated out of seeing what was going to happen in that tremendous game. It should have been Eagles ball with a minute 50, one timeout, down three, assuming the made field goal, and no penalty called there because it would have been fourth down. So anyway, Toney makes the play there that sets him up. They do win it. He's listed number one receiver for the Chiefs, and he has shown flashes of absolute brilliance in the past. I'll take my chances with him. You can find lots out there, rookie cards out there, $1 a piece or less, or I did at least this summer. I'm sure they're still out there. And if he does start blowing up, or maybe even start sending a few off to get graded now, no, I'll wait to see, because for all we know, he could be out all year again, injured. And in that case, just write it off or get rid of him, probably for half of what I paid. But if it, set him aside. If it does start clicking, boom, start finding the best conditioned ones, send him off to get graded, see if we can't get a couple tens, even nines. If he ends up, he could have a long, big career. For all we know. So if that's the case, get cards. If these are graded at least nines, they could be valuable cards.